Three, two, one.
Turning Red is a 2022 Disney Pixar film. Film follows. Hey everyone, this is Michael from Baycast.
Okay, yeah. Well, let's put Turning Red in there because they're connected to Michael Bay, right? Yeah.
I like the fake intro.
Hello. This is Jacob. Welcome to Baycast, the podcast where we talk about Michael Bay and only Michael Bay, and not the new Disney Pixar film Turning Red. If you want to have our quick thoughts on Turning Red before we start with The Island.
No, not at all. Not in the slightest.
Not at all?
Nope. This is the Baycast.
Yeah, right. No talking about actually somewhat decent movies. We want to talk about, even
good
better than
movies
that.
That are interesting? Nah, bro. We've got The Island.
Oh, hell yeah. The Island is so good. Is what, at least one person on this planet with almost 8 billion people said. I'm not one of them.
That's what Michael Bay said when he was filming Transformers 3 and needed to put some new footage in. That's the funniest fucking thing. We'll get to that later.
We'll get to that later. But before we start, there's just this little funny Michael Bay tidbit that I thought I'd mention before we started. According to some random ass website, that might be wrong, but I'll just take this at face value. As a boy, he attached some firecrackers to a toy train and filmed the ensuing fire disaster with his mother's 8mm camera. So, little Michael Bay really showing his stuff at a ripe young age.
Sounds completely fake, but I mean, why not?
Yeah, it probably is fake.
It gets you thinking. It gets you thinking early on, which is more than the fucking Island does after the first maybe 10 minutes.
Yeah. Okay. So this one is about The Island, which is Michael Bay's probably, I think this is his first and one of his only financially unsuccessfl movies. It made barely over.
The movie about the island.
Yeah. Who would have thought that a movie not based on anything that got bad reviews would do poorly? I didn't, but so yeah, this movie is I guess the best way to describe it was actually it's funny because I watched the movie George Lucas's THX 1138 a week or two before this, and it is very, very much so influenced by it. It's it has the same basic plot where it's in a totalitarian future society where love is forbidden, and the main guy discovers this isn't what it's meant to be, and he breaks out. Granted, THX 1138 is a much better executed version of it, but it's still the same plot nonetheless. So, Michael, what do you think about Michael Bay's 2005 epic, The Island?
I found it to be so formulaic and shitty that I actually thoroughly enjoyed it. I loved seeing what cliches and tropes they would throw at it every given scene. I had more fun with this than most of his other movies for the entirely wrong reasons.
I agree with you to an extent. I had fun with it. It wasn't the most boring movie ever made. It wasn't painfully it wasn't painfully boring like Pearl Harbor, painfully shitty like Armageddon. But at the same time, after the first hour when you basically know everything's gonna happen, I was just is this really all that it is? And it is pretty much all it is. It's basically exactly what you expect.
Oh yeah. After the maybe 45-minute mark, there are no surprises. Nope,
not at all. Literally at the half-hour mark, I was or actually no, even before that, I was yeah. So the actual island obviously isn't real, and they're using these people for some shitty purpose. Granted, I guess before we get into it, I just want to say that I think the first the opening credits to this movie is really funny in an early 2000s way.
Yeah, no, yeah. I know.
Whereas it's basically a perfume commercial.
On my notes is just what the fuck? That's peak Michael Bay. That's the Armageddon landing scene. That's the only indication until the halfway mark that this even is a Michael Bay movie.
Yeah, I was for the first for the first third of the movie, I was thinking this is more Wachowski's than Michael Bay.
Yeah. Wachowski or maybe Underworld, Resident Evil, that kind of movie.
Yeah. Granted, I guess it was a nice change of pace to see a movie that wasn't so obviously his style, but
And then, and then halfway through, it became obviously his style.
yeah. And then
He couldn't
became
resist.
yeah. I would say this is after just coming off the heels of Bad Boys 2, which is like the most insanely awesome action movie he's ever done, probably will ever do. This is like, it wasn't like bad action, I would say, but it's like pretty formulaic.
I would consider this movie's action to be stale. That's the word I'd use.
Yeah, like there's no like I watched this like 4 days ago. I left my notes at college because I came home, so that's not great on my part. But like, yeah, I watched the movie like around 4 days ago, and I would say this is probably, in my opinion, his most forgettable movie that I've seen so far.
Probably because it doesn't feel like his for so much of the runtime.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with Pearl Harbor. Pearl Harbor is one of his worst because it's the most boring and the most forgettable. Because it, outside of the one scene, it's not shot or even really written like a Michael Bay movie.
No.
It's easy to just say like, oh, who directed this? Is this actually like a James Cameron schlockfest? I know it's not. I know he's better than that, at least in that era. But
yeah, I guess in that era she was.
We're just gonna keep bringing up Pearl Harbor to shit on, right? Is that what's happening?
Yeah, because it's so bad. It's so boring.
No, I'm just weighing in because this is like the third time we've done it.
I hate Pearl Harbor with all my being.
I also do, but on something we don't fully hate. I don't think we fully hate this.
No.
I have some notes. Some of them are vaguely ordered. Some of them are just still silly observations, and some of them are quotes. And there are some funny quotes in this movie, which stood out more because the rest of the screenplay is so drab and dull.
Yeah. So, you start, I guess.
Oh yeah, I was gonna go down the line of things I think are worth saying. Steve Jablonsky going nuts in the intro.
Yes.
The intro, Steve Jablonsky's score for this movie varies from like the epic orchestral choir shit that he brings in Transformers and penis music. There's no in between.
Yeah, I did quite enjoy, because this is, I believe, his first collaboration with Michael Bay. I did quite enjoy a lot of it. There's a lot of choir music in it, which didn't particularly fit the type of movie it was.
Like, a normal Michael Bay soundtrack fare.
Yeah.
So like this soundtrack here, it's just 10 times better in Transformers and Transformers 2. So
right.
No, I have a lot of random observations about what Ewan McGregor looks like and sounds like in this movie, because it feels like it could have been anyone. It didn't need to be Ewan McGregor as the male protagonist. It didn't need to be Scarlett Johansson as the female protagonist. It could have been literally any
it really could have
been actors and actresses. But it also almost homogenized them. Like the first comment I have about him here, Ewan McGregor looks like Homelander. And then another late point I say he looks like a psychopath. And then I say he looks like someone I'd meet at the coffee store.
Yeah, he doesn't particularly have like a definable trait. He's kind of like he's kind of a douchebag for a lot of the movie too.
He has the fucking singular forehead pimple.
Yeah, I was constantly thinking about that. Like I was thinking, like, is that like a little like birthmark? Well, not birthmark, but like
a makeup thing. Is it an Ewan McGregor thing?
Yeah, I was like, because like I didn't like notice it obviously in like most of his other movies. So either they covered it, so either they added it to this movie, or they covered it up in every other movie that he's in.
I don't know which one's funnier. It's also a year after Robots and Revenge of the Sith, which is interesting to think about.
Right. Yeah. I guess this was the career, the era of Ewan McGregor where it was after like his breakout success in like Train Spotting and movies like that.
Yeah, that was a few years before that.
Before he started like actually starring in like actually good movies like The Doctor's Sleep or something, or Train Spotting 2.
Doctor's Sleep was years and years after that, but that mid 2000s era where he gets a bunch of kind of inexplicable roles.
I did like Big Fish though. You've seen
Robot. He sounds like Jerry Seinfeld in that movie. I don't know why.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
So going through some of the things. Oh, you want to start the discussion? I got more notes about.
A little bit. I'll just like describe like the basic setting of the movie. So Ewan McGregor his character's name is Lincoln 6 Echo in the movie, and he's like just like this like I guess like this low level worker in like this quote unquote utopian society. What's it called again?
It had a name? I don't know.
Did it have a name? whatever. It was like this utopian facility where basically like everyone like entered into, but there was like a lottery which was chosen at random for people to go to quote unquote the island, which obviously is the name of the movie. Yeah. And I guess like that's like the motivation to give these people to keep working, so that maybe one day they'll go to like the last. But this was they Sean Bean like described who was like the main guy, who's like the main like I guess the boss of it. He described it like the last like non-contaminated place on Earth, because they tell these people that get the contamination like made most of the Earth uninhabitable. So yeah, Ewan McGregor just like works with. I forgot the characters' names, but he has like two like really annoying like Michael Bay friends.
Fake Sean Wallace and skinny fake Sean Wallace.
Yeah, they're both. There aren't like any particular quotes I remember from it, but yeah, they're like very annoying.
Well, the balder, taller guy said, "I'm such a loser."
Yeah.
So I don't know. This is one quote I have down early on.
Yeah, but like the thing that like, because like in the movie, like Ewan McGregor like discovers that like things aren't like where I was not being told everything that we're supposed to be, and that like we're being mistreated. But to be honest, like I think for the most part, like obviously there are like some kind of like shady things that they do. Like for the most part, like this was before they discovered that they get killed to get their spoiler to get killed to get their body parts. They live a pretty good life to be honest. Like unlike THX 1138, which is obviously based on,
they get read stories, like Dr. Seuss level stories. Bro, I would read Dr. Seuss stories and fill tubes. Doesn't sound that bad.
Yeah, like they get well fed. The work doesn't seem to be like too hard, and like they obviously have like a lot of like leisure time from like after they do their work. Like honestly, like it's a pretty solid life, I would say.
They get to fight each other in the Xbox sponsored fighting arena.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I completely forgot to mention that. There's like Coke sponsorships and like Xbox sponsorships. Like I was thinking like, since there's like a utopian like society, like they don't need sponsorship in this movie. Nope. There are sponsorships in this movie.
Out the ass.
Oh my god. Yeah. So yeah, Ewan McGregor is like, I would say he's basically like kind of a blank slate character. Same with Scarlett Johansson.
Both of them are actually. Yeah. Everyone's boring, and they're just bored without something. The villain is boring in the same way as I guess the like the Watchmen movie Ozymandias, just like, oh, I want to have power and control people and be like God.
Yeah. Sean Bean's role in this was pretty not lackluster to say.
I didn't realize it was Sean Bean until you said it was Sean Bean about 5 minutes ago.
Really? That's funny. Yeah, we're also introduced to Steve Buscemi, who works on like the factory part of it.
Yo, Steve Buscemi, straight out
he
of
is
Armageddon.
Easily my favorite part of this movie. He was really funny.
Oh my god, absolutely.
Yeah.
And see, well, in Armageddon, he was one of the most painful, uncomfortable parts. In this movie, he's
just basically a less sleazy version of his character from Armageddon.
I actually saw him more as a direct continuation of his plot line in Spy Kids 2.
You think?
Why the fuck not? The timelines could add up.
I mean, yeah, if that's your headcanon, I'm not gonna take that away from you. It is pretty funny to think about.
Only a few years before this, but yeah, and then other characters. There's the guy from Guardians of the Galaxy is like a Black Ops hunterman. I don't really know.
Yeah, I can never pronounce his name right. Digimon Hansu. I'm sorry if I completely.
You're closer than I am.
Did that?
I didn't recognize him because he doesn't have the goatee and he doesn't have like the no offense to him, but he doesn't have the wrinkles that I'm used to seeing from like Guardians of the Galaxy, Captain Marvel, Aquaman, Shazam, like that whole list of late 2010s movies where he just plays very similar comic book characters.
Right. Yeah. Definitely.
And he's tasked with hunting down the escapees, Scarlett Johansson and Ewan McGregor.
Yeah. So I think Ewan McGregor, like his like first, Lincoln Six Echoes, a first realization there's something wrong is that he found a bug in the place where Steve Buscemi worked. And like it's so funny like how much he was like fascinated by it when he went to like Scarlett Johansson. He was like, yo, do you want to check out this cool bug I found? it's like actually kind of big. Yeah.
Literally, want to see this cool bug I found? Is exactly he says something like that.
Yeah. He was. Yeah. I mean, like there were like I want to say the relationship is like very like obvious and derivative, but like they do, but like both of them, I would say, have like some pretty solid lines of like childlike innocence, and as we discover, they are actually children.
I would say is the attempt at a fish at a water storyline. Did it succeed? Kind of, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess it works sort of, but yeah, like I guess like after like a little bit.
Sometimes they're like, why? How they know to do that? You know, it's normal movie screenwriting bullshit. If you make characters that are intended to be stupid, they have to do things that make them intelligent enough to star in an action movie. So you have to take some liberties there. That wasn't the most like abhorrent thing, and there are far worse Bay characters. These guys are all boring. At least it's not like Armageddon where they're all like evil, like
yeah. Everyone Armageddon is terrible. These are fine.
Yeah, fine is the word I'd say for most of this movie, honestly.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess like after like Ewan McGregor like goes to like investigate like in like the labs where he finds Michael Clark Duncan's character who was the most recent one to win on the island, which is like they had like a really funny scene in the beginning.
Most recent.
Oh well, yes, most recent.
The pregnant woman was the most recent.
Right. They had like this really funny scene in the beginning of the movie where like they're all riding on the elevator and you see like congrats to our like most recent winner, Michael Clark Duncan's character. And he's like, hey guys, I'm so excited to go to the island. And then like Ewan McGregor's like tall friend is like really pissed off at that.
That's when he said I'm such a loser. He's like, I'll never win. I've been here for 7 years and I haven't won the lottery, you know?
Yeah. It's funny. We're reintroduced to him as he's getting killed for his like kidney or something.
Yeah, he actually appears in the movie.
Yeah, it was kind of disappointed because like he was like billed like fairly highly like in the opening credits, but he's only in the movie for like 3 minutes. Which
it was a movie for 3 minutes, and then the one part later where they're in the spoiler real world, and you see a poster of a football player, Michael Clark Duncan, and I thought it was going to be like, oh, we're going to see him? No, it was just actual visual storytelling. It was crazy.
I mean, I was kind of hoping we'd see him again, but I guess it didn't make sense.
But since he didn't, I wasn't mad that he didn't again because I'm like, oh, that's a neat like detail.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they didn't like give him when they saw him like when they were getting him for parts, they didn't give him us anesthesia, I guess. So he was like, what the hell is happening? And then he like goes on a rampage throughout the doctor's office, like
he really does. He goes on a full like doc rampage, then he's just killed.
Yeah, I mean like, and like there's a pretty brutal scene where they like harpoon gun his like his like thighs or like his like legs.
Yeah, no, they really get his ass.
No, I want to go to the island. Poor guy.
Yes. All the other characters is just I want to go to the island.
Poor guy. I guess like that was the part where Ewan McGregor realized, we gotta go.
Fucked up. I gotta do something.
Yeah.
I'm taking ScarJo with me. Fuck it.
Yeah. So then they just leave.
Was chosen. That's why.
There was this one part I remember. Oh, sorry. You can go.
I was just saying she was chosen, and he's like, "Oh no, you can't go to that. They're gonna kill the shit out of you. We have to leave." That was why he did it, not just because it was Scarlett Johansson, but that's probably like 60% of it. Right.
Yeah. Well, that was most of it. There was this part when they were escaping. I realized they're like, do not touch the runaway people. They will be contaminated. And I was like, that's a terrible way to get for them to run away, because then like everyone's gonna avoid them. So then they'll have like
run away from them.
Yeah, everyone will avoid it, and they'll have like a perfect place. They'll have like a perfect way to exit. And so you think that like getting people together would make it harder for them to escape, but no, I guess they're just dumb. Yeah.
Welcome to the island.
Yeah, best movie of 2005, that's for damn sure.
Is it 2005 or 2006?
I think it's 2005.
And it's the same year as Robots and Revenge of the Sith. What the fuck?
Yeah, really great year for Ewan McGregor, wasn't it?
Prolific for those other two movies, not this.
I mean, like, yeah.
I suppose.
Yeah. What else? So what happens next? They escape, and then they realize that uh they're not that their whole life was a lie, and there was like a screen that like blocked them out, and now they're actually like in this shitty world or something like that. I don't know. I'm just going off of what's in my head. Sorry if I'm just rambling, but yeah. We'll just get to the good part. So yeah, they're like out in like I think like this is like the part where we get like the first like action scene ish. Like as we've said, it's the action of this movie is very okay, I guess. Since this is like
gratuitous.
Yeah, since this is PG-13, it's definitely not like on the same level as Bad Boys, or even like really Pearl Harbor, to be honest. But at least I think the good part in Pearl Harbor. But yeah, for what it is, it's fine, at least in the opening part. But there is like one pretty funny thing that we'll get to later. But yeah, after that, they're out in the real world in the desert, and then they go to this bar, and then this is like the one. This is the one I remember where they asked like the bartender where Steve Buscemi's character is. They're like, she's like, he's in the can. Oh, he's in a can. He's like taking a dump. Taking a dump where? Yeah.
We're gonna get to him. He's taking a dump in a can.
It's so dumb.
That is the funniest example, or the best example of the fish out of water stuff, and then it never capitalizes on that stupid ass goofy shit ever again. That's why it sucks.
Yeah, it's stupid, but it's funny.
But it's good stupid. Yeah, like, this movie is mostly just
taking a dump in a can.
Ewan McGregor's accent changing every fucking 5 minutes was also good. And then we'll get to the really crispy shit. My favorite character in the whole movie. We'll get to him in a bit. But, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, of course. Yeah, we'll get to
yeah.
So then we're introduced to... we're reintroduced to Steve Buscemi's character taking a dump in a can. And he's like, oh, what's happening? And then we're like, oh, what's happening? And like he holds him up to like the urinal, and then like there's like a gay joke because like it makes it look like, oh, they're having sex in the bathroom. You know,
this joke is also reused in Transformers 3.
There has to be like at least one offensive gay joke in every Michael Bay movie.
And this just happens to be the exact same joke as in the third Transformers, which also steals a shot from this movie.
Yeah. Is so at that point we're told we're expedition dumped what's exactly going on in this universe now. So they developed this technology where they can just clone people, where they could like get their body parts and make them like live a lot longer than they would have. But the only problem is instead of like they tell them that they're that these people are just like, you know, like these people have like no personalities and they're just like sleeping like in like jelly somewhere. But due to movie logic, they can't do that, and they have to actually make them like live and function. So they developed this like they developed like this fake story for them where like there's like the Earth was destroyed and the island is the only place they can go to, and whoever wins the island just fucking dies. So yeah, that's the plot of the movie.
Pretty much. The last 1 hour is them running from the guy from Guardian of the Galaxy and his crew of people, and then they return, and then they fight Sean Bean.
Yeah, after that expedition dump, I was like ready to be like, all right, so I feel like there's not that much more they could talk about. Maybe have like, you know, like half an hour left, but no, there's like an hour left. And I wasn't
it's one of the shorter Bay movies post Bad Boys.
Yeah, it's not like super long. It's like 2 hours 15 minutes.
But it's paced like garbage. No,
yeah,
that's the thing. Unlike there's some movies that are long. Like The Batman is a very long movie that's paced pretty well. Just as a recent example, this is a not that long movie that's paced like garbage.
Yeah,
first 30. Oh, sorry. I said the first 30 minutes of this movie. The first 30 minutes of this movie feel like a movie in itself.
Mm-hmm.
Like this kind of psychological horror about this facility, and it just becomes a bad action movie for the remaining 2 hours.
Yeah, it's not super great in its pacing. Whereas a movie again, using as another big example, Bad Boys 2, which is like 2.5 hours, that movie like felt like it paced itself way better than this movie. Because
Structured a lot better.
yeah, it might be because Michael Bay got to do whatever the hell he wanted with that one because it was just basically a $130 million
This movie
playground for
reeks
him.
of like we need to do a sci-fi Bay. It's what's cool and hip.
Yeah,
You know?
I do feel
Hey,
like
by the way,
yeah.
oh sorry, I
No,
was gonna go
I
off
feel
the
like sci-fi.
point.
Sorry, we just keep talking over each other. You can go.
This is so fucking scuffed. Well, this movie's boring. So like the infighting is the most interesting thing.
Yeah,
But it's written by the same guys who wrote the first Transformers movie.
that makes sense. I
Same
would say.
writing, same soundtrack.
Yeah, I feel like honestly, sci-fi honestly is probably one of the things Michael Bay does the worst, at least in like the stuff I've seen from him so far.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Well, the 5 Transformers movies. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Because obviously, I'm pretty sure that most of the Transformers movies aren't going to be good. But yeah, like
How could you say that?
I'm sorry, Michael. I'm sorry if I offended you.
I'm sorry. This movie is so boring that I'm reverting to like a fucking primal like gorilla like state.
Okay, like judging from the Michael Bay, judging from Armageddon, this movie, and I have seen the first Transformers, just not a long time. I feel like what it does best is stupid, like not grounded, but like in real life action with like big explosions, and helicopters and car
Bad
chases.
Boys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like Bad Boys 2 and The Rock. That's what he does. That's what he does best, in my opinion. I feel like with sci-fi, like it's like a bit too like squeaky clean for like his like explosion-y style.
Yeah,
But-
this movie only got Michael Bay after the sci-fi stuff was just discarded.
Yeah, pretty much. Soon after we got that expedition dump, we they try to like run away, blah blah blah, and then Digimon Hansu's character like they find. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I keep.
I like that. With that'll solve the problem.
If you're watching this, you're obviously not going to watch this, but I'm very sorry. I'm not pronouncing your name right.
I loved you in Guardians of the Galaxy 1 for the 4 lines you had.
I'm sorry. Yeah, they find them, and then Buscemi like fucking dies. He gets shot and like falls into the
and then he falls off of like a 5-story random balcony, which is pretty awesome. I laughed very hard.
Pretty much after this, like that point until like the final like the climax of the movie, it just basically like it's a blur to me, except for like the one character. But yeah, I think at this point we're kind of have that car chase, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, the car chase is pretty much right after that because they're on the run after Buscemi's killed. They're on the run because they're framed for killing him.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, they're on that. Or it's not a car chase, like a weird motorcycle chase thing.
Well, it starts off as a flat car chase, and then it becomes like a space motorcycle chase. Not really a chase.
Yeah.
Event.
Yeah, I get the most memorable part of that scene for me was when they went onto the building and then they were on the giant R or whatever it was, giant logo.
It's the R. Like I
The giant R.
And then there was the iconic Michael Bay black stereotype. Is like damn, you really survived that fall. You're good looking. Like I don't remember what he says, but it's something along the lines of like, Scarlett Johansson, you survived that fall. You're attractive. The normal kind of thing Michael Bay would write for a random black man.
Yeah. Yeah, really great writing of different races, Michael Bay. You get a gold star for that one.
The best character he ever wrote was in the what the fuck was it? The Rock car chase. The guy on the trolley. That was the best random.
Oh yeah, the trolley guy.
That guy. That is the best example of the Michael Bay black stereotype guy.
Wait, he just really care about that trolley. You can't blame a man for that.
This guy just cares that people aren't getting killed by buildings, which makes
I guess so.
Makes him a normal person.
Yeah. So yeah, I think around time, like a little bit after that, we're introduced to the best character in the film, Hugh McGregor too.
Yeah, when
Tom
they appeared,
Lincoln.
it's like, oh my god, it's shot reverse shot. They don't have the balls to fucking use effects to put him in, and then they used effects to put him in, and it was awesome.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it did look pretty good actually.
I don't know how they did it, but they did it.
Yeah, I do love how they have two completely different accents where their actual like Tom Lincoln is like he is like that like the most Scottish, like even though I know you were Scottish.
And McGregor's voice.
Yeah, but it's mostly like exaggerated Scottish, like rich asshole character who like makes boats or whatever, which was something introduced early in the movie. But who cares? Yeah.
He doesn't just make them; he draws them.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
And then it's like, oh, this guy's evil, and then he's evil. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, very obviously.
About the point of the accents, one of the first things that when they get to the house, it's Tom Lincoln. That hence the name Lincoln Echo 6 or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, why do we even have different accents? That's Irish. I don't care. And then he's like, I don't know. That's about as far as the discussion gets, and it's never explained.
Yeah, he is such a funny character. He definitely brings life into a movie that was definitely getting pretty bored by.
Needed a fucking cheesy, evil rich guy. Like he breathed life into it for the 15 minutes he had.
Yeah. There's obviously
started very quickly.
Before this, I was waiting. I was be like, these characters are obviously like they're like virgins who are gonna have sex for the first time in this movie, right? And they're like,
oh my
God,
God,
never had sex before.
I'm not the only one who's like, this movie is building up to a PG-13 sex scene.
Yes.
But I just had that pit in my stomach, like oh, it has to happen, doesn't it?
Yep, and it does. A sex between a 3-year-old and a 4-year-old in the film's universe.
My review. Damn, she's 4.
Oh my God, it's so dumb. But like, I guess like
really stupid. It makes sense, but it's also weird that it is outlined with such clarity within the movie.
Yeah.
You didn't need to say that.
So yeah, obviously Tom Lincoln's
in such detail.
Yeah. Honestly, Tom Lincoln's like a bad guy. Then he wants to get him killed so he could like live longer. Blah 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 blah. Well, I guess like, can you like? I guess like he's like, I guess there's like a morality thing to it where like, is he really a bad guy for killing his clone? But then again, he is like living, breathing.
The morality thing wasn't is he going to kill his clone? It was like he had some affliction, like some cancer or whatever.
Yeah.
So and the same thing is at one point you see Scarlett Johansson's like the real person, not the clone that's in the movie, is a commercial. Like I don't know, commercial lady, like a beauty, whatever. Fun fact: that was a commercial. Could you guess that commercial was not shot for this movie?
Yeah, it was obviously not. Yeah,
it was a pre-existing thing.
Do you think Michael Bay can make a commercial? Can make a movie? Actually, didn't we like discuss like last episode that he made commercials for like perfume beforehand? So I guess like it would make kind of sense.
He did music video. Yeah, he does music videos and commercials, but I mean like a normal commercial.
Right.
Which no, he can't.
No,
not at all. But so the regular Tom Lincoln is absolute gold. Like every line, because he's just saying something evil or horny. He's just always affronting the audience with like, this guy is not to be trusted. And then they trust him, and then he betrays. And it's like, it's not surprising anyone, but the clone. And that makes it funnier, I think.
A little bit.
Bro, I know you're 3 or 4. You can drive a fucking speeder bike better than you can figure out that your evil Scottish clone is in fact evil.
Yeah.
Like, bro.
Yeah. So very obvious. But I guess like they say they like and they explain it by saying like, oh, he like learns throughout the movie, like he has like the traits of Tom Lincoln or whatever. How he can draw boats or whatever the fuck he does.
And drive bikes.
Yeah, he just be a talented human being.
Being a fucking Chad. That's what he inherits, the Chadliness of Tom Lincoln.
Yeah. So Tom Lincoln tries to have him killed or whatever, blah blah blah, and then like it goes into like a car chase, and at the end of it, like they have
I'm you. Like no, he's the real one.
I was trying to. I keep trying to. Is there an easier way I could say the guy's name without butchering it? The Guardians of the Galaxy guy.
We're calling him Digimon.
Digimon. Whatever. He has to shoot either one of them because they're obviously faking being each other, and then I'm Tom Lincoln. I'm Tom Lincoln.
Well, yeah, the dialogue is like I had some of the exact dialogue written down. Let me where the hell was it? Shit. I have a lot of good quotes for this when we get to the end. Just some random stuff. No, I'm Tom Lincoln. Shut up. It's just that between both of them doing the Scottish voice.
Yeah,
so.
Between Chad Ewan McGregor and asshole Ewan McGregor.
Yeah, the Chad Ewan McGregor versus the Virgin Ewan McGregor.
Obviously, because the movie still has like 40 something to 50 minutes in it. He shoots the asshole Ewan McGregor,
the real one.
Yeah, and he obviously he's faking being him for a little bit, and then they have that awesome PG-13 sex scene. I'm sure you were stamping your foot and saying "Oh, wooga" when you saw that.
Like in Turning Red.
Yeah. Oh, because I love Turning Red. It was so funny. It was
fucking.
What movie's more horny? The Island or Turning Red?
Turning Red. No fucking contest, dude.
Yeah. That just let me just say that it was weird how Turning Red was so much not for kids. But anyway.
So a movie that is not for anyone. The Island.
Yeah. So I guess Turning Red's better. Anyway.
It is better.
Yeah. What happens next? Oh yeah, what
happens? We literally went over the plot of the movie, and now we're going back to the plot of the movie, Jacob. This is the most scuffed episode.
Yeah, something happened. Yeah. So I think
no. The thing is, he thinks about what to do. Scarlett Johansson gets herself captured. He goes incognito to pretend to get the clone transplant because they still think the clone is dead. He goes there. He tries to shut down the hologram. He is faced by Sean Bean. They have a very badly shot fist fight. A fan explodes about 10 times. We'll get more on the fan stuff. Well, when I get to the conclusion, references, stuff like that sections, I guess we're doing now. And then the movie ends with about 150 CGI people in fucking Wyoming.
No, I couldn't have said it better myself.
I feel like we're going to go through the campaign, the plot of the movie like a fucking third time. I need to speed it up.
Yeah. Sorry. I'm just. Yeah. Thank you for that, because I didn't write my notes and I didn't bring my notes home because I'm a dumbass, and yeah, I need that. So yeah, thank you for just finishing describing the plot of the movie, because we need to get through that. Yeah, that's The Island.
That's the plot of The Island. Let's go into the specifics, the quotes, the silly stuff.
Yeah,
now
definitely.
I get to use my notes for good, and I took a surprising amount of notes. How sure this movie is. I took as many notes here as I did for Pearl Harbor and Armageddon, and those movies are almost 3 hours, or actually are 3 hours.
Yeah.
Quotes. You're cutting the line. Yeah. That was the response by Ewan McGregor. The balding guy. I'm such a loser. Fantastic work.
Yep. Do
tests. What sort of tests? Nice tests. Followed by a terrible CGI eyeball. What's God? When you really want something bad, but you can't get it? God's the guy that ignores you. Which, that's the kind of thing that the motherfucker from Spy Kids 2 would say. Because he did have a lot of God in that movie as well. What else do we? What other things? Xbox, Aquafina. The taller guy was talking about how the guy they were bullying for no reason called him dude. It's like dude, DOOD.
Oh yeah, dude. I completely forgot about that. Yeah, we found a word say.
When the lottery is won by not the pregnant woman, by Scarlett Johansson, they use an instrument, some kind of horn that is just the main instrument of the Transformers movies. It's like the iconic instrument of that soundtrack.
Like the
no. Like it's not the blah. It's not a blah. It's like a horn. I don't really know what it is.
It's just the horn.
Yeah, when you see Transformers, it's fucking everywhere in all those movies.
I believe you.
At least the first two. Another quote: "Seal that liver now." That was when they were taking Michael Clark Duncan's liver.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Maybe there were good
what
quotes in this
else?
movie.
I was gonna say this wasn't Michael Bay enough, and then a guy walked out of a helicopter in slow motion. That was about the moment where it became a Michael Bay movie.
Oh yeah, completely forgot. There was I'm not sure if I mentioned this before, but there was a decent amount of what I like to call M. Night Shyamalan slow mo, where instead of like actual like being in slow motion, they just like cut the frames in half. It just looks very choppy. That did happen a few times.
Unusual amount of that.
Yeah, which is a very like early 2000s thing to do. So
I guess that's why. M. Night Shyamalan's just never stopped doing it.
No, he has not.
I guess that's what happened. It's only his move because he's the only one who's continued its plague. What else? Steve Buscemi, when he's mansplaining the entire plot to them, he's like, "You're not." He's like, "You're not a, there's a real," and then he says, "You're not like a real person."
Yeah,
like, bro,
a little racist toward clones, isn't he?
Not really. It's mostly the villain who is. Another quote from that exact scene that fucking killed me was, "You know how dead I would be? Not to mention fired." Like, this stuff in that order is actually funny. Good work, Steve. And then at the end, to conclude that, Ewan's like, "I'm not asking for your permission. We're asking for your help." I've heard that somewhere before. Was it said in something else?
I feel like that's a very like movie line. I can't remember exactly.
It is a very movie line, but I swear I've actually heard it in like either a different movie or a show or something or a game.
It probably was. I can't think about it off the top of my head though.
They're getting clothes from Steve Buscemi's house. It is revealed that with his like weird like semi-concubine girlfriend, he has maid outfits in there, which was highly disturbing. It reminded me of Armageddon.
Yeah. That was a little fucked up, but his character was way better in this than in Armageddon, though.
Oh no! We've already gone that. It is an improvement, but it's still it didn't really need to. It didn't really need to there. But another thing, at one point in this movie, I'm just like, if you didn't know any of the actors in this movie, you'd think that Scarlett Johansson and Ewan McGregor are porn actors. And I thought that about halfway through, and it pervaded my mind throughout the rest of the runtime. Like, I could not shake that feeling because they don't feel like. Not only do they not feel like real people, they don't even feel like the fake people from the movie. They just feel like nothing.
Yeah, their performances in this definitely weren't. Because so obviously Ewan McGregor was like hot off the tails of the Star Wars prequels, and Scarlett Johansson was she just had her breakout in Lost in Translation. So obviously these are pretty good casting choices because these are two talented actors and actors. But yeah, they definitely do not give their they were entertaining enough, especially Ewan McGregor when he was playing Tom Lincoln.
Yeah, he was allowed to try and act because he's playing the evil mustache twirling Scottish man.
Yeah, but when they're actually that boring ass clone characters, they're not great.
Yeah, no, thank you. What else? Oh, I just have a note that says R. That's the R from the building that you mentioned. At one point I wrote with the characters, what a wholesome duo of goofuses. I don't really know what that's supposed to mean, but I agree.
You just wrote that down.
A very wholesome duo of goofuses. Yes, exactly.
I could have said by myself.
The F word is spoken. There's one F word. I don't know. I remember that. This movie is accidentally very funny. The fluoride stare. The edgy military man, he just side flips like 75% of the movie.
Side flips?
With no build-up. He changes sides. That's what I meant to say.
Oh, right. Yeah.
He's just
he does do that.
I'm not gonna hunt people for you anymore. I'm going to help, and then he helps. I mean, cool. And that is awesome. A lot more. That he is pretty cool, but that is a lot more agency than I expected out of a Michael Bay military character. Honestly, who usually just evil and edgy the whole movie. This guy actually had a change in consciousness, like change in conscience, not consciousness.
Yeah, good job, Michael Bay, for making the most obvious change of heart in any film I've ever seen.
At one point, when they're like, we have to dispose of this group because they're getting sentient, and they put them in a room. I'm like, oh, they're gonna put them in the room, and then it just says incinerator. I'm like, whoa,
with like giant red X's. Don't go in it.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I'm like what the fuck? Well, I was very full like Nazi on that one. Holy shit.
Yeah, that was pretty dumb.
And then that's around the final battle, which I had almost no notes on until the fans started exploding. Do you remember anything about these fans by chance?
The fans?
The fans. Do you remember a specific sound effect?
No, I don't. Can you onomatopoeia it for me?
I'm not going to, because it's more like what it represents is the fact that the noises that are used in this movie during the fan destruction when Ewan McGregor and Sean Bean are having the battle are 100. I'm gonna say 100%. I'm not even going 99. I'm that confident. Exactly the noises they use for almost every transformation in the first Transformers movie. Exactly the same noise.
You think?
Yes, I am certain at least some of them are reused.
That's interesting.
I am dying on that hill. And I'm like I've seen those movies enough that I know that noise. And I'm pretty convinced. The last point I have here is that the military guy hits a fucking troll face. Did you notice his goofy ass expressions?
The military guy?
Yeah, the guy who changes sides at the very end where all the people are free. It looks like he does the troll face.
I didn't notice that, but that is pretty funny.
It's really funny.
Okay, one thing I also did notice is that there aren't that many sweaty characters in this movie like Michael Bay movies, but he took up all the sweat and was pretty much the most sweatiest character in any Michael Bay movie ever. He was caked.
No, my friend, that goes to Sam McKayla from Transformers 1.
I don't know. He was pretty caked though.
They're way worse. They're orange and they're not even slimy. They're greasy. They're viscous in that movie, dude. You don't even know.
After we watch all the Michael Bay movies, we'll rank the most sweaty characters.
It's gonna just be the Transformers. It's gonna be the first Transformers movie. Because everyone is fucking orange and slimy.
Interesting.
And that's the next movie, by the way. We're almost there.
Soon.
And I'm gonna do an extremely stupid and unnecessary thing for those movies. I'm gonna change my profile picture to cursed images relating to the movie.
Sounds good.
It could be a random toy. It could be a screen cap. It could be just something totally unrelated. You don't know, but I will change it. We gotta make this fun, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's going to be fun.
It'll be hilarious.
I mean, I'm surprised we had as much to shit talk and muse about with this movie, but those movies actually have incoherent nonsense for us. We don't need to make it. It's already there.
Yeah, that'll be. I am very excited to just make fun of all the
after the first movie, it goes completely apeshit. I think we really traversed all the ground you can with the island. It's a fairly unmemorable, but also not painful movie.
Yeah, there is a couple.
I wouldn't say it's bad enough that it's a.
I was trying to say there is a couple funny little pieces of trivia that I found about the movie.
Oh, yeah, the trivia.
Yeah. Here's a really bad one. at around 1 hour 45 minutes, Michael Bay had Ewan McGregor add the line, "Wow, that tongue thing is amazing," after Scarlett Johansson French kisses him on the stairs, because that's what he actually said to the first girl who ever French kissed him. Her name was Meg. Imagine what a geek I was when I said that.
It took a second for all that to really settle in my mind. What the fuck?
Yeah, that's so fucking stupid.
Being Ewan McGregor and Michael Bay's like, hey, you gotta say this line. I said it to this girl, and Ewan McGregor, like you were paid $500 billion for being Obi-Wan, and you're like, I have to say what now? What? Excuse me, the fuck you trying to say, American man? I can't.
Yeah, that was.
We're not only getting a better idea of his movies, we're getting a better idea of his fucking insane psychology.
Yeah, I think the Bayham will get really bad when the Transformers movies come along. But yeah, it's definitely there in this movie and his previous stuff as well.
Well, listen, Bad Boys 2 is the impetus for the insanity. The
Right.
Island is a brief but futile respite, and then Transformers is a return to form.
Yeah. Let's see what else. I think that was the main one. Obviously, we have to mention the train wheel chase was reused in Transformers: Dark of the Moon.
Well, yeah, there's one shot of a black Cadillac vehicle, because of course evil people, black vehicles. It's movie law. Gets pulverized by a in this movie it is like a beam, like a tube. What the hell do you call them? But like a metal, like a hollow metal tube. And
yeah.
whatever the hell you call those things. And in Transformers 3, it's spoiler alert, a whole ass Decepticon.
The same thing.
I'm guessing what they did is they fucking CGI'd out or found like a version of that scene without the tube that was CGI'd in and replaced it with a Decepticon, which is very funny. It's not just reused, it is edited. Because obviously the same shot, but it's I don't really. It's like Schrodinger's reused shot at that. Honestly,
just like fuck with your mind. Yeah,
it kind of does. And that movie was 6 years after. Like wow.
Yeah,
I mean, it's also because Transformers 3 takes place like 90%, or maybe not 90%. Takes place like at least 60% in Chicago, and I'm pretty sure that was Chicago in this movie.
Was it? Because I feel like they were at like no, wasn't like the Arizona, like the California like ish area.
Oh, it should be. So it was probably like supposed to be Seattle, but I'm 90% sure they shot in Chicago.
Oh well, yeah, maybe
it felt like it at least. And this is the if true, this begins Michael Bay's hatred of Chicago. He blows up what I believe to be Chicago in this movie, and in Transformers 3, and in Transformers 4.
Huh.
He just fucking hates Chicago, I guess.
Well, that makes him the most relatable director of all time, because who doesn't hate Chicago?
In Chicago, I want to blow it up with like Decepticons or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Is there anything? I can't really think of much else to say about the island. Do you have anything else to say?
Like you said, we've exhausted all of the content with our 1.5 summaries of the plot. And all the interesting things are just random quotes. Like, I guess I'll find them other things. There was a CGI snake. It made me happy. I chronicled the story of me assuming this sex. Just like about I'm gonna guess about 10 minutes in, there's gonna be a sex scene, isn't there? About 35 minutes in, this movie's building up to a sex scene. This is like a porn. And then, we did it, boys. We got to the sex scene, and then after that, I just went, "Why was I so excited for that?" There's a whole
Michael, you dirty dog.
But it's because it's this movie where they said, "Oh, they're adults, but they have the minds of kids." Like, first, it's sex immediately. That's the first thing you think of because it's the most obvious, stupid shit.
Yeah. It was pretty stupid.
You have two conventionally attractive people who are made to act as boring as possible. That's not a movie. That's a porno.
Well said.
So I think we've done this. Next week is going to start the Transformers. I don't know about nightmare. I don't know if you should call it a nightmare, but it probably will be a nightmare.
Hell yeah. I am so excited to start it. Just heads up, this is the only Michael Bay movie I have seen before doing this podcast. I watched it when I was like maybe like 11 or 12. I don't really remember that much about it other than being a very average blockbuster. So I am looking forward to rewatching it and thinking about it with my knowledge that I have today, which honestly isn't much more, but what can you do?
Remember, just never recall. I'm not just hyping it up because they're shitty movies. I'm hyping it up because I know like everything about these movies, unlike most sane people.
Yeah, we have a Transformers expert here.
Yeah, okay. It might be a little, like a stupid thing to admit, but at this moment in time, I'm literally just fiddling with a fucking Studio Series Jolt figure. That's from one of the movies. It's a toy that was released this year based on a character from a fucking 13-year-old movie.
That's interesting. They're still making Transformers movie toys.
They're still making Transformers based on the movies. Yeah, if I had access to my camera, I'd be like, oh, look at this pile of movie Transformers I have. I have a whole fucking bin. I'll admit it. I don't care.
Yeah.
They're usually pretty good toys. They take the completely incoherent designs and make them physically possible, which is crazy.
Do you think it was worth it? It was worth making all those 5 of those movies to have some pretty cool toys?
Well, okay. I don't know, because the Transformers 2 toys probably traumatized children forever, because they were like, you know how you see like there's a puzzle. It's like, oh, this is a hard puzzle. And you see the puzzle, like the next step, where it's like a fucking dodecahedron.
Yeah.
Transformers 2 toys are like the dodecahedron of toys.
That's just funny.
I hate them. I got some kid I know, he was kind of into Transformers. I got him a toy known as Mixmaster. Possibly the worst toy I've ever purchased. I got one about a month after I got him his, and I realized that could have been seen as an act of fucking war. Like,
okay.
I'm gonna send you what that thing looks like. It's. I'm sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm getting at least 2 movies ahead of myself. But I'm filled with such a joyous whimsy about these garbage movies.
Yeah. Oh my god. Maybe we should like hold off on these until we actually get a Transformers 2. But yeah. We'll talk about that again.
There'll be a lot of extraneous discussions with them, and that's the way it has to be.
Yeah. All right. I'm sure the 2 people who actually got to the end of this video, but don't want to talk about it anymore because it's getting way too long. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. I'm really proud of how much the channel has grown since we started, because from a channel of nothing to a channel of at least something. So I'm really glad that
more than no one is pretty impressive.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. See you when we get to the best film series of all time. And yeah, have a good rest of your day.
Take care.